So it's so good to see everybody. Welcome to another Personnel Board of Jefferson County Lunchtime Learning Blast. My name is Pete Blank. I'm one of the trainers here at the Personnel Board of Jefferson County, and we're pretty excited about today's topic just to give you a little bit of help on improving your delegation skills. Improving your delegation skills. Man, do I need to work at this? Because like most people, I think that I'm the only person who knows how to do this task. So I struggle, those who can't do, teach, so I'm going to share some ways that I should be delegating and some ways that might help you delegate as well. Now, you might be thinking this is just for management, and by all means, yes. I mean, I think that delegating is an essential part of management. If you are a manager or a supervisor, whatever your level may be, you have to delegate. It's a non-negotiable. You have to learn this skill. And people are like, well, Pete, I'm not a manager. How do we do this? Well, perhaps you're involved in your church. Perhaps you're involved in some professional organizations. Perhaps you're involved in some nonprofits or maybe something like that. And you may have to be delegating there. So hopefully these skills will help you. Or if you're looking forward to getting promoted into a management or supervisory role here in Jefferson County or wherever you're watching from across the country, we're just going to share a couple quick tips on how you can do this. It's going to be 15, 20 minutes at the most. We'll get you back to your day, but just a great way for you to be thinking about this skill of delegating and how you can get better at it. All right. Well, here's why we don't do it. Let me take myself out of the picture here and just share this. This is from a book that I read years ago called No Nonsense Delegation. All right, and take a look at this. These are what the author calls factors involving or factors affecting delegation. And take a look at some of these and why we don't do it. So let's start at the very top. Management style. Some people don't have a good management style and they don't know how to delegate. Organizational plan. The plan says you have to get it done, nobody else does, so I don't delegate. What about your leadership style? That's different from the management style, because maybe you have friends or people you work with and your leadership style is one of not doing conflict, so you don't want to go through all that. Maybe it's a control approach in the upper right where you have to have control. The delegatees, subordinates, whoever you're going to delegate to, they're going to take that task and delegate it to somebody else. And you're like, well, I know they're going to delegate to somebody else, and I don't like the people they report to, so I'm not going to do that. Maybe the delegatee doesn't have experience or capability in the bottom right. What about me as the delegator? What's my background? What's my experience? And what's my security involved in delegating? Because what if I delegated and you all drop the ball on me? Is my boss going to come after me and say, hey, you dropped the ball, you're fired now? People want rewards these days. What's the reward structure? If I do this, is there anything besides just getting it done? The working conditions are there. How do you handle mistakes? And the delegator's boss in the upper left-hand corner. So does he allow me to delegate and delegate and delegate, or does he want me to actually he or she want me to actually do the task itself? So again, we just start out by saying, well, no wonder people don't like to delegate. no wonder we're so stressed about this. And these are all the factors that affect delegation. But we're not going to go into all those today. That's like a 3-hour training session. What we're going to talk about today is 6. You like my little graphic here? 6. We're going to talk about 6 tips, again, that can help you be a better delegator. And if you're watching this right now, do us a favor, click the like button, click the share, click the heart if you're watching live on Facebook, if you're not watching it on a recording. We appreciate that. We love sharing this information, not just with Jefferson County employees, but across the country. And the more people that like and comment, the better it is. All right, so let's get started. Tip number 1. And I'm going to include me in all of these, we have to be okay with letting go. Sometimes the biggest challenge for all of us is just letting go of the task for whatever reason it may be. Maybe we like doing it. Maybe we're concerned that no one else can do it as good as we can. Maybe we're concerned that the person we give it to isn't going to meet the deadlines. Maybe we think they're going to drop the ball. Maybe, we put all these things out there as to why we want to hold on to these tasks. So just, always assume good intent. And at the end of the day, this is a you thing and a me thing. We have to be okay with letting go. You have to be okay with saying someone else can kind of, do this. Good example for this is we put on a personnel board graduation event at the end to recognize all of our people who have gone through training programs and things like that. And we had a smaller department when I first started, so I was the one who rolled it out. I had a team of myself and one other person, and we created a graduation, and we got space, and we started with just like 13 people going through it, and it was great. And then it grew and it grew and it grew. Well, finally, I had to delegate it. I had to give it to somebody else, and I had to be okay with that. Be okay with letting somebody else drive it and somebody else think about it and somebody else. And again, I'm still involved in some event. In fact, you might ask the person I've delegated to, and they're like, "You really haven't you haven't let go." But I mean, I've let go of as much as I can, the day-to-day operations and getting all that kind of stuff done. But that's a us thing. First of all, we've got to be okay with letting go. This is the big one, y'all. You got to delegate the right task to the right person, because again, sometimes. Here's how we delegate. Okay, who's going to get it done? Who's my high performer? I'm going to give it to that person. And I'm going to give the next one to that person. And I'm going to give the next one to that person. So yes, it might get done, but that person's getting hammered because they're like, there's 4 other people here who work with me. Why am I the only one getting? Well, no one else can get it done like you can. So I got to be careful with that. Because again, is that favoritism, or am I not holding the other people up to what they should be doing? But also, who has the right skill set? Who has a skill set that needs more graphic design? It should go to this person. This one's more about a relationship-based task. It should go to this person. So again, we don't just want to give it to the first person that's there, or because somebody's off today and someone's not there, and I'll just give it to you. We've got to be really strategic about our coworkers that have the right skills and the right things that they want to do. And also, it's going to be a good learning experience. How do you make it a really good learning experience for somebody that they want to get involved in? So that's step 2, is make sure you get the right task to the right person. Now, again, this is on us leaders. This is on us managers. The expectations have to be crystal clear, as they say in A Few Good Men. Am I clear? Crystal clear expectations. Because again, once you give somebody a task, once you give somebody something to do, you've got a way that you prefer it to be done. Does it have to be done exactly that way? You can't just give them a task and kind of walk away. What's the due date? What are the end results? Who should they be talking with? I'm going to be checking in with you every now and then just to double check on this. So, set expectations so that they don't come in and think you're micromanaging, and so that they don't say, you haven't given me what I need. So what's the due date? What's the turnaround date? What should the end product look like? All these things are part of the crystal clear expectations. So once you've done that, you've set up the expectations. Now you as a leader have to give them what they need. You have to give them what they need, or they don't have badge access to that closet, so they can't get in there and get that. We don't allow them to call the mayors directly, so they can't call the mayor. Well, this project you gave me involves me calling a mayor, but now you say I can't do it. This involves me using the copy machine, but I don't have a code. This involves me making private phone calls, but you haven't given me a private office to work on. So you're giving them all these things, but number one, they need the resources. They need access. They need access to all these things. And number two, they need information. They need information as well. So again, giving them, what they need to complete the task. And again, how do you get the work up to the proper standard? Do you want it up to your standard, their standard, the organizational standard? That's all back. That actually goes back in the crystal clear expectations, because they may give the task back to you and think it's done according to their expectations, but your expectations are up here. So once you've set those, give them all the information that they need to kind of move forward on that. Here's the big one. Again, try not to micromanage. Now, this shouldn't be too bad if you've set this up in the beginning of what the expectations are, that you're going to do a couple of check-ins. You're going to do a couple of check-ins. And again, let them know up front that doesn't mean that you're micromanaging. It means that you're just doing a drop-by, doing a check-in, seeing if they have the resources and the information. What do I need? That's different from micromanaging, which is, oh no, don't do it that way, do it this way. Hey, okay, you can't call that person, just give them here, I'll call them for you. That's the micromanaging. How are they going to learn? How are they going to grow? How are they going to develop? Don't forget, delegating gives us so many positive outcomes. Number one, it takes something off your plate. So that's always important for leaders who have a lot going on. But number two, it gives the employee a chance for growth and development, or maybe a chance to fail, or maybe a chance to fail forward. There's all kinds of good things that come out of delegating. So again, if we're micromanaging that and bringing the task back and all that, it's not going to be successful. So finally, the sixth step is when it's all done, you as the leader have to provide that post-task feedback. So you gave them a task, you gave them a project, you gave them something to do, give them the feedback afterwards. If they exceeded your expectations, awesome. Share that with them. Recognize them in some way. If they just met your expectations, talk about that, give feedback. How come you didn't take this step? And if it came out and it didn't meet the expectations, ask about the why. Did they not have the skills? Did they not have the resources? Did they not have the time? Are they overburdened? Did they not want to do it? Are they trying to sabotage you? I don't know. I don't know. But the check-in provides the opportunity for both the positive and the negative feedback, which I think adds a lot of value. So again, very simply, again, we normally train and teach delegation skills and tactics in like a 2 or 3 hour course. We're just doing 10 minutes today. And we dive into a lot of these topics here at the Personnel Board of Jefferson County. But just to summarize, number one, if you're delegating, be okay with letting go. Give the right task to the right person, set the expectations, give all the information and the resources, don't micromanage. And when it's done, don't just sit back in your office and go, oh, they blew that. Or, get with the person and share what they need to do to kind of continue to improve, or if they want more tasks, or if they want less tasks, or again, how can they grow in development? This can also be part of a performance development plan or an IDP, perhaps. If you've got low performers and they're not doing anything and they're causing drama, and you're like, I'm not going to delegate to them because they're just going to drop the ball. Actually, it's the opposite. You need to delegate to them. Prove to them that they're still needed, they're still valued, and if they don't complete this delegated task, now we can start them on some type of performance plan to say, this is what's going to be expected of you, and if you don't stay, we're going to have to move you out, or maybe you'll self-select out. So it's a good part of a performance development plan as well. Join us. We love to have you do some of these. You'll see at the very bottom there, these are the ones that are free and open to everybody across the world here on Facebook Live. The next one's going to be tomorrow, spring cleaning for your mind. I like that. Michael's taking that one. You want to learn more about LinkedIn, how to make your LinkedIn profile looking good? That'll be next week, as well as a process and passion and all of that. And our next trainer talk, you'll see there in the pink, that's on the 29th. Do you want to create a training culture where you work? Maybe you work in a small organization where you don't have a training department, you don't have maybe a big HR function, but you want to create an organization where learning and development happens all the time. How can you do that without having a formal training staff? And how do you get the organization to buy into lifelong learning? Myself and my fellow trainers are going to be talking about that. That's going to be on the 29th, Thursday. So set that on your calendar, 11 o'clock in the morning for about 40 minutes or so. So again, that's today's Lunchtime Learning Blast. I appreciate you all watching. Tina Phillips, my buddy, it's good to see you. Thank you. Good to have Orlando down there on the line. And Claudia, appreciate you as well. Thank you guys for watching. Go out and delegate. Be the great leaders I know you can be, and have a great rest of the day. Bye, everybody.